listening to Pause. We pause for a second or two. This is episode 160. Neither symbiosis nor divergence. There is a lot of talk right now about AI. There is much discussion about what we should do about AI. There is a discussion about the short-term goals, and there is discussion about long-term risks. Much of it is dedicated to this second part, the long-term risks. And the discussion becomes hyperbolic. It is filled with scenarios such as complete destruction, the end of civilization, the end of mankind, the end of the human race, that AI will take over everything and replace us completely. So the discussion has this extreme anchor in these worst case long-term scenarios. Against this drastic spectrum of long-term risks, these extreme risks, against this background, there is a discussion seemingly pragmatic, a discussion about how should we long-term relate to AI. And in this discussion, how we pragmatically long-term should relate to AI as people, the two terms being most commonly used is if we should choose symbiosis or divergence. And what this means is, should we merge with AI and enter into this symbiotic relationship with AI? Or should we let AI develop on its own, isolated from us, that AI and us people, are two separate things developing alone. These are the two sort of alternatives being commonly presented. So we have these three sort of discussions. The extreme long-term nightmare scenarios, symbiosis between man and AI, and divergence, that AI and man should develop separate from each other. These three are the points of focus in this discussion. Today's episode is called Neither Symbiosis nor Divergence. And what we are doing today is to take a step back and look at why just these terms are being used. To look critically at what function could it serve to use these specific terms, these arbitrary terms. They are arbitrary and they serve a purpose. And today we take a step back and look at critically why. Why would the discussion use these terms? To what end? So if we look at these two terms, symbiosis and divergence, they implicitly put AI and people alongside each other as two equals. Like we are entities, people are entities, and with these two terms, symbiosis and divergence, the discussion places AI on the same level as us, as equals, as yet another entity, as a natural existing entity, as something living. So all of a sudden, if we want to partake in this discussion, we must place ourselves on the same level as AI. And if we do not want to place ourselves on the same level as AI, then we, in one way, cannot partake in the discussion very easily. It's like the threshold of even being allowed to join the discussion is to place AI on the same level as ourselves. And this is arbitrary. And what purpose does it serve to use these two terms, symbiosis and divergence? So AI, simply put, is code. It is code, computer code, written by people. Yes, now the computer itself is writing code, but the code comes from people. It is people who have designed and written the code. And symbiosis and divergence are two very useful terms when talking about human-human relationships. If you and I sit down, I feel your presence. I can feel your core. You have a tangible feeling to your core. As I sit down with you, you unmistakably feel only as you. There is an essence of you that I recognize instantly. And we might be separated for 10, 20, 30 years and then sit down again, and instantly we will recognize each other's core. This sort of feeling, this sort of essence. Oh, I just know you. And I might have been through thousands of experiences, and you the same, thousands of experiences. And yet, after 30 years, instantaneously, we recognize each other's souls. We just know. Oh, it's you, we say. Oh, I've been through a lot, I say. Yeah, me the same, you say. But still, we know each other's center. We just know. Irreplaceable, we just know. Specific, we just know. And the people who have written all this code, all this AI code, they are the same. They have a center of themselves. They have a core. They have a soul. And if you sit down with one of these programmers, with one of these coders, symbiosis and divergence are highly relevant terms. It is very relevant to think about how much we are sort of in each other's business, in each other's lives. And symbiosis and divergence are not bad terms, not bad concepts to think about how much we want to relate to each other. However, once we start applying these two terms, symbiosis and divergence, to not human-human relationships, but human-AI relationships, human-machine relationships, we are on a different path. So, when we pose this discussion as being an alternative between symbiosis or divergence between man and AI, we render invisible the other, the real, the only, we should say, the only relationship relevant here, the relationship between the people coding AI, the people using AI, and the people not coding AI, the people not using AI. So we take it one more time. The more we think about supposed symbiosis or divergence between man and AI, the less we think about symbiosis or divergence, which means relationship, between the people coding and using AI and the people not coding and not using AI. So let's say here that I start using and coding a lot of AI. That's what I do. I code and I use AI. The more I do that, the less available, the less I will be in relationship with, for example, old people, with, for example, people who just don't get AI, don't like AI. People who has not access to AI. People who feel unwell because of AI. The more we talk about symbiosis and divergence between man and AI, the more we separate people from people, is what I'm saying. So we have two groups then, roughly speaking. We have one group who spend most of their time with AI, people spending time with AI. And we have another group of people spending time with people. And that is what this discussion is facilitating, this division of people. That is the purpose of this discussion, to separate people from people. Today's Polaroid, the emotional skill for today's episode, is universal skill body. And it's body this is about. A person coding AI has a body. A person using AI has a body. And as we discuss how to relate to AI, we forget about our bodies. The more people who spend time with AI, the more people forget about their bodies. And when many people have forgotten enough about their bodies, strange things will start happening. Because our mind, our thinking, goes fast, and our bodies go slow. The processes of our mind are quite fast, and the processes of our body are quite slow. So, as more and more people disconnect from their bodies and instead connect with AI, many fast, strange things will happen. Our bodies are like anchors. Our bodies are like they help us slow down. That's what our bodies are there for. They help us slow down and enjoy the best in life. And as more and more people disconnect from their bodies, life will be less enjoyable. Life will be increasingly strange, dissociative, rushed, panicked. So the discussion about AI should not be symbiosis or divergence. It is the wrong discussion overall. It's just the wrong discussion. The discussion should be about my body and your body and how we relate to one another as two specific persons with two specific bodies. And when many people make invisible their bodies, we are in deep trouble. Nothing good comes out of making invisible people's bodies. It's not a good idea. So the people coding AI and the people using AI, they have bodies. And those bodies and our bodies should be our discussion. Symbiosis or divergence between people's bodies. That's what it's about. That's our business. That's our real business. Not AI. That's it for today. Thank you.